What is up, Legion? It is formerly known as 360 Ninja here. We are now called Colwrld on this YouTube channel. It's been far too long. It's been since 420 of COVID. And the issue here is you haven't had a video in a very, very long while. So, to introduce the new channel name, we're going to be doing a new segment I like to call Cooking with Colwrld. Now, I might be hearing you saying, Colwrld, what are we cooking today? Well, we're just going to be doing a simple recipe here. Some Taco Bell tacos at home. It's not going to be no exact recipe here. We don't do that in this Colwrld industry. So, clearly, we're going to be needing things like the original Taco Bell taco seasoning recipe. A few other things that we're going to be using today is just some regular black cracked pepper. Gonna be doing some dark chili powder because I like chili in my seasonings for tacos. Some Himalayan pink salt, some MSG. Now that's what we're gonna be using for our seasonings. For our cooking process, obviously we're gonna be using ground beef using 93.7. And then we're also going to be using garlic and pre-minced onion because I'm too lazy to buy those vegetables and to store them. Also, of course, can't forget the most important thing, the drink. Now, obviously, you get your pan. I got myself a nice nonstick. I haven't turned on the stove, of course. We're going to turn it to about a medium heat. After that, obviously, we have our avocado oil or vegetable oil. I personally like to use room temperature butter. Get yourself a nice little slab off of there. Throw it in the pan. Now, clearly, in this pan, we've got melted butter. But I like to take it a step further. Most fancy chefs like to brown their butter, so personally, I like to give it a little extra time to caramelize the fats and the sugars that are in the butter, and it just gives a little bit more richness to our food. While we wait for this butter to brown, I can go over a few questions I'm sure some of you may have. 360 Ninja, now known as Colwrld. What have you been up to? Where have you been at? Why have you been taking away our entertainment for all these years? Well, as you see, I've grown just based on age of all the tattoos I have on my arms. Semantics, whatever. But graduated high school, went to college for 2 years, graduated there, kind of putzed around, stayed in the city where I went to college, and just kind of really didn't do nothing with my life. Just working menial jobs. Right now, got a job I'm liking pretty good right now. The old channel that I used to share with my buddy, he is in that room over there for the squad ties. He is now preferred to be off camera. But he's giving me the time to attempt to make a good YouTube video. So we appreciate his help. Any other questions? Not that I can think of. If you have any, put them in the comments and I might put them in the next video if there's another video. That's if you would like another video to be on this channel. Also put in the comments what food you would like me to attempt to make. Because obviously this is a pretty run-of-the-mill, simple taco seasoning, taco packet, bing, bang, boom, done. But I'll be on the lookout. Now, if you don't know what I mean by browning your butter, as you can see, there's literally like little granules in here that are browning in the pan. I've heard most people describe it as like a nutty flavor. I like to just kind of spread it around the pan, kind of make sure it's nice and spread out. But it does add kind of like a rich, fatty smell when you're like cooking it up right now. So it's getting to the point where I'm probably going to throw in the meat, and I will show you that in just a moment. Okay, so we added our beef into the pan. Next, I'm going to take our trusty spatula here. We're going to break it up into a little bit more small pieces. I broke it up initially out of the package with my hands. Make sure to wash my hands afterwards, and I'll show you how we got crumbled down. And just alright, we got our hamburger broken up. As you can see, it's already starting to brown in a few sections. So what I'm going to do here next is I'm going to start adding in our seasonings and whatnot. Give it a couple minutes before we start adding in our garlic and our onion. I'll show you how much seasonings I'm adding afterwards. There isn't going to be any like exact measurements because I cook by the heart, but that's the best way to do it. Cook with whatever you desire for your food. If you want more spicy, add more spicy things. If you're more of a laid-back white boy like myself, don't add anything to it. Nothing wrong with that. Alright, add in all the seasonings. And fair warning, if you're going to cook with MSG and salt, you want to be a little liberal with both of them, considering that they kind of enhance each other and it can make your dish way too salty. As you can see, I'm just going to start mixing it up and seeing what else is browned and make sure everything's incorporated into each other nicely. And I'll show you when I add the onions and garlic. All right, so there's always gonna be concerns when you're using things like garlic and onions in dishes, primarily when you're cooking meat. A big issue that people have is you can tend to burn your garlic or onions, and that can kind of just take over your dish and kind of ruin it. No one likes burnt food. In the dish here, I can't find the perforated lines. In the dish here, I have some of the beef is still raw, it's still pink. So I like to do that because I feel like the flavors from the onion juice and the garlic juice just kind of incorporate themselves more. I personally haven't used easy onion before, so we'll see how that goes. All right, so now I got both of our containers open. Oh, well, I didn't know that there was a seal on this. Also keep in mind, I do have the stove on a medium heat, so it's kind of just simmering itself right now. I bought the minced garlic in a squeeze bottle because it's nice, it's easy, it's simple. So I'll add maybe like a couple globs of garlic, because since it is minced garlic, it's going to be pretty strong. It comes with its own little like sauce juice. To see how much I'm adding, right there, about how much I'm adding. There might be a little bit more. Set you back up there, and I'm just going to grab a plastic fork. I like onions in my food, so I'm probably going to add like 2 or 3 forkfuls of onions. Yeah, I had 3 forkfuls of onions. I'm going to keep this little preserve lid on just to see if I can make these last a little longer, because I haven't cooked with them. I don't know how long these preserve for. It said until 2027. I'm guessing that's if you were to leave them untouched and whatnot, because obviously bacteria is growing everywhere, so be careful with that. And I'm going to mix and incorporate these, and I'll show you how it looks after. All right, so we turn this up to a higher heat, see if we can get a little bit more of a char going. There's a lot of juice in here, so it's probably not going to happen. But as you can see, most of the meat has been mixed and cooked. We add the onions and the garlic. We're gonna leave those in there to cook a little bit longer. Gonna continuously mix here. And when you're cooking things like ground beef, you don't necessarily have to be worried about burning it too bad. As long as you keep a constant stir going, it should be fine. Now, obviously, if you couldn't tell by the fact that I'm using a Taco Bell seasoning packet, these are white man tacos, white boy tacos. So there's no need for like anything like super fancy. This is like bare bones. I haven't filmed a cooking video before, so this is new territory for all of us. We're just figuring it out, seeing how we go, see how we like it. So, yeah. All right, so instructions say to brown the meat first. I personally don't have a preference. I've mixed in the seasoning before I've cooked. I've done all that, but for the brevity of the video, we're going to follow the directions somewhat and add this after the meat's been browned. Get a nice little bit of seasoning. And it says to add 3/4 cup of water. I could do that, but we have my special juice here that we're gonna add in here just for a little extra flavor. Because why not? Then we are going to let this cook and simmer down, really cook into itself, really make sure all flavors are incorporated into the dish. Now, I've also never made white boy tacos, including my favorite special juice, into the mix. So this is going to be another mystery flavor profile that I have never experienced. So right now it's kind of looking like a sloppy Joe consistency, not really put together all too much. So we are going to let this simmer and cook down just to be sure that we have the consistency that we want. So I will keep you updated on how the simmering goes. Now, I know I said I was gonna be making tacos, but I don't usually eat them out of soft shells. If I have hard shells, I'll try to make a hard shell taco, but they always end up soggy and nothing really works for me. So my preferred method is a taco salad. First step with prep while we let this simmer is to get a pink bowl. Because if it's not pink, it won't be the same. Next, you get your chip of choice. You can use Cool Ranch Doritos, you can use regular tortilla chips. I have this fresh bag of nacho cheese Doritos, so that's what I am personally going to use. Get yourself like a handful here, as you can see. What I like to do, take both hands, crush them up into the bowl. Don't make it into like a fine dust. Leave it so there's some texture, some bigger pieces. Get maybe one more half handful here. Crush that up right there. Obviously, get a chip out. Enjoy the chip that comes out. Now make sure to wash your hands after, because you don't want to add any Dorito dust all over your home. Next thing that I typically do is I'll take a Mexican blend or a taco blend cheese, and we'll take this cheese, we'll add it in to our Doritos here at the bottom. So what this does here is obviously, I don't know if you can see that, it's kind of just mixing it together here. And what this does is when you add in the hot meat to the bottom, it makes kind of like this slurry, it makes this like concrete compact at the bottom that just really brings everything together nicely. Make sure that everything's coagulated, makes it into like a nice thick bowl of taco salad that you can eat. I personally like a lot of cheese. I've seen videos, I don't know exactly where this quote comes from, but it's one of my favorite quotes here. And it goes, it ain't gonna go down easy if it ain't cheesy. Now, our taco meat looking pretty good. Looks like it's simmered down real nice. A lot of that juice is going out of it. Smells phenomenal here. So give that a check. Got that nice steam rolling off of there. Maybe another minute or so and we'll add to our bowl. All right, so we put the pan on a low setting because everything's nicely put together. Obviously grab your bowl, grab your spatula. Serve yourself up however much of that meat you want in that bad boy. Get yourself a nice serving here. I'm a big boy, so I like to eat a lot. I bought this pound of meat, I'm probably gonna eat all of it. Maybe make 2 bowls just to make it feel like I have more food. Ideally, I'd like to have some lettuce, but I know I don't eat through it fast enough to buy lettuce. So we got about, I'd say, a third of that meat left. I could honestly probably fit it all in this bowl if I really wanted to. But what we're gonna do here, we're gonna add a nice little garnish. We're gonna do some more Doritos on top here. Really crush them up, not as fine as that bottom layer. Take a little bit more of your 4-blend Mexican cheese. And obviously, this is completely optional. I personally like Ortega's, taco sauce blend. Didn't realize I really liked this until about a month ago, 2 months ago or so. And obviously, if we're going to be having some Taco Bell taco sauce seasoning, you gotta buy the Mountain Dew Baja Blast. And the result is OMG! Now that is how you make white boy nachos. Thank you for enjoying this episode of Cooking with Colwrld. I hope you didn't mind the longer format episode. I know a lot more of my videos have been around 4 to 5 minutes. This is probably going to be, I don't even know how long it's going to be. I still got to edit. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.